For privacy reasons, names and places have been changed. This story is inspired by true events.
On one fateful afternoon in 2009, 26-year-old solo backpacker Sienna McGrath veered off a remote corrugated track deep within Western Australia's vast Great Victoria Desert for what she hoped would be stunning sunset photos. She never returned. Despite an extensive and harrowing investigation covering thousands of square miles of unforgiving, barren landscape, Sienna McGrath vanished without a trace. For 16 agonizing years, her family lived with the crushing burden of profound uncertainty, desperate for any answer. Then in 2025, a startling discovery was made. Hidden deep within a remote, uncharted limestone karst pocket, finally offering a glimmer of hope. This is the complete and meticulously pieced together investigation into what truly happened to Sienna McGrath and the dark secrets of the desert that finally gave up its truth. Before we continue, let us know where you're watching from, and if you enjoy this content, consider liking and subscribing to our channel. Now let's continue. In 2009, Sienna McGrath, a 26-year-old solo backpacker from Sydney, embarked on an ambitious journey through the remote interior of Western Australia. Driven by an insatiable wanderlust and a passion for capturing the raw beauty of untamed landscapes, Sienna sought experiences far removed from the well-trodden tourist paths. Her focus was the vast, ancient expanse of the Great Victoria Desert, a region synonymous with extreme isolation and breathtaking yet perilous natural grandeur. This particular stretch, known for its unique limestone karst pockets, presented an intricate topography of eroded rock formations, hidden sinkholes and subterranean systems. It was a landscape promising spectacular, fleeting photographic opportunities, but also one capable of concealing its dangers with deceptive ease. On a late afternoon in September, Sienna was navigating a corrugated track that cut through the desert's ochre heart. Her itinerary had her heading towards a specific waypoint, but the allure of the setting sun, casting long shadows across the undulating dunes and exposed rock, proved irresistible. She made a spontaneous decision to detour, venturing a short distance from the main track, her camera already in hand. Her intention was clear: to capture what she anticipated would be a magnificent series of sunset photos, a testament to her love for photography and the reason for her deviation from the planned route. As the light began to fade, painting the sky in fiery hues, Sienna moved deeper into a particularly rugged section of the karst formations. As the sun dipped below the horizon, plunging the desert into a rapid twilight, Sienna McGrath vanished. She did not return to the corrugated track. She did not reach her next scheduled waypoint, the expansive, indifferent landscape of the Great Victoria Desert, which had drawn her with its beauty, now swallowed her without a trace. When her pre-arranged check-in calls went unanswered for days, her family, increasingly frantic, contacted authorities. Their desperate inquiries would soon trigger one of Australia's most challenging and enduring missing person investigations. The desert had claimed another secret, its vastness becoming an immediate obstacle to any hope of rapid discovery. The alarm raised by Sienna McGrath's family initiated an immediate yet daunting response from Western Australian authorities. Search and rescue teams comprising experienced police officers, skilled trackers, and dedicated state emergency service personnel were swiftly mobilized. They converged on the last known vicinity of Sienna's movements, recognizing the critical, rapidly diminishing window for survival in the Great Victoria Desert. The sheer scale of the operation was immense. The initial search grid encompassed hundreds of square kilometers of unforgiving terrain, a landscape that consistently dwarfed even the most determined human effort. In 2009, search capabilities, while robust for their time, faced significant limitations when confronted with such an extreme and expansive environment. Aerial surveys commenced promptly, with SES pilots like Callum Reid flying systematic patterns over the vast featureless plains and the more intricate limestone karst pockets. Their eyes and the cameras mounted on their aircraft scanned relentlessly for any anomaly, a glint of metal, a disturbed patch of earth, any sign of a vehicle or a person against the dominant ochre and grey. Concurrently, ground teams, navigating on foot or in specialized 4x4 vehicles, meticulously combed sections of the corrugated tracks and ventured into the surrounding bush. Tracking experts, relying on their deep understanding of the desert and its subtle signs, attempted to discern any faint indication of Sienna's path off the main route. However, the Great Victoria Desert proved an overwhelming adversary. The very features that had drawn Sienna, the dramatic undulating dunes, the hidden depressions, and particularly the labyrinthine karst formations with their concealed crevices, became insurmountable obstacles to discovery. The corrugated tracks frequently obscured any faint tire marks, and the shifting sands erased footprints within hours. Rob Tully, a veteran station owner whose vast property bordered the search area, offered invaluable local knowledge, describing the desert as a place that could swallow a truck whole without leaving a ripple. He joined the early efforts, guiding teams through treacherous sections, but even his intimate understanding of the land could not conjure a definitive path for the missing backpacker. Despite the exhaustive and increasingly frantic efforts, no vehicle, no backpack, no definitive trace of Sienna McGrath was found. The initial investigation, though thorough and relentless, yielded nothing but an expansive, baffling emptiness, and the case began its slow descent into cold obscurity. Despite the monumental efforts and the vast resources deployed, the initial investigation into Sienna McGrath's disappearance yielded no tangible evidence. Every lead, every faint possibility was pursued to its conclusion, yet the desert steadfastly refused to relinquish its secrets. No footprints beyond the initial search area, no abandoned vehicle, no personal effects, and critically, no witness accounts emerged to illuminate Sienna's fate. The corrugated tracks of the Great Victoria Desert, which had been so meticulously combed, offered no further direction. The labyrinthine limestone karst pockets, with their hidden crevices and subterranean passages, swallowed all traces without a whisper. As the immediate window for survival closed and the likelihood of finding Sienna alive diminished to near zero, the active search operations began to scale back. Weeks turned into months, then years. The initial surge of public interest and media coverage, intense during the frantic early days, slowly receded, replaced by other news and other mysteries. For Sienna McGrath's family, however, the passage of time brought no respite. The absence of a body, the lack of any explanation, meant an enduring, agonizing state of limbo. Grief could not fully run its course without the closure of knowing what had happened. Birthdays, holidays, and milestones passed, each marked by the poignant reminder of Sienna's unexplained vanishing, leaving a void that could not be filled. For the dedicated investigators, the case became a source of profound frustration. They had meticulously reviewed every detail, re-interviewed every potential contact, and revisited every inch of the search area possible with the technology available in 2009. Yet, the outcome remained the same, a complete and total lack of evidence. How could a young woman with her vehicle simply evaporate in such an environment? The Great Victoria Desert, with its immense scale and deceptive terrain, had proven an adversary too formidable for the tools at hand. The file on Sienna McGrath, once burning hot with urgency, slowly gathered dust relegated to the cold case archives, a stark testament to the desert's ability to conceal and confound, leaving behind only a wilderness of doubt. 16 long years would pass, the sands of the Great Victoria Desert shifting silently, before any new glimmer of hope would emerge from its depths. 16 years had passed since Sienna McGrath's disappearance, a period during which the Great Victoria Desert continued its slow, inexorable reshaping. Dunes migrated, rock faces weathered under the relentless sun, and the subtle shifts of the earth continued their ancient dance. The landscape, outwardly unchanging to the casual observer, held secrets deep within its contours, waiting for the precise moment of revelation. It was in the spring of 2025, during a geological survey of a previously uncharted section of the vast limestone karst pocket, that the first tangible clue to Sienna's fate finally emerged. A small, specialized team mapping subterranean water flows in a particularly rugged and remote ravine stumbled upon an anomaly. Wedged precariously behind a substantial rock fall, partially obscured by accumulated sand and detritus, lay a sand-caked backpack. Its fabric, faded and weathered by years of exposure, was almost indistinguishable from the surrounding rock and earth. The location was critical. The rockfall had formed a natural barrier, effectively concealing the item from any casual glance or even from aerial surveillance precisely within the complex hidden topography of the karst system. Upon careful excavation, the backpack's contents immediately confirmed its significance. Among the preserved items was a driver's license bearing the name Sienna McGrath. The faded photograph, though aged, matched the missing persons file that had lain cold for over a decade and a half. A wave of stunned recognition, followed by a surge of adrenaline, swept through the small survey team. The long-forgotten mystery of the solo backpacker had, against all odds, resurfaced from the desert's depths. Most crucially, tucked securely within a waterproof compartment, was a digital camera. Its lens, choked with fine dust and sand, offered a grim testament to its prolonged exposure to the elements. The hope was immediate and profound. If the camera had survived, if its memory card could be recovered, it might hold the very images Sienna had been pursuing, perhaps even a final, unwitting record of her last moments. The discovery instantly reignited the cold case, transforming it from a wilderness of doubt into a focused, urgent investigation. The remote site was immediately secured, and the meticulous process of unearthing the past began, with the backpack and its precious contents transported for forensic analysis, carrying with them the echoes of a long-lost truth. The discovery of Sienna McGrath's backpack transformed the cold case from a historical tragedy into an active, urgent investigation. The remote ravine in the limestone karst pocket, where the backpack had been wedged for 16 years, became a meticulously secured forensic scene. Investigators from the major crime squad, supported by forensic specialists, descended upon the site. Every grain of sand, every rock formation, and the precise positioning of the backpack were documented with painstaking detail. The goal was to reconstruct not only the moment of discovery, but also the environmental conditions that had preserved and simultaneously concealed the crucial evidence for so long. The unique geological features of the karst system, with its naturally occurring rockfalls and hidden chambers, were now viewed not just as obstacles, but as key components in understanding the long-ago events. Back at the forensic laboratories, the sand-caked backpack underwent an exhaustive examination. Specialists meticulously sifted through its contents, identifying items that had withstood the desert's harsh embrace. Personal effects, a tattered journal, and various travel essentials offered poignant glimpses into Sienna's life. But the focus remained on any potential clues to her fate. The digital camera, encased in its own protective compartment, was treated with extreme care. Its dust-choked lens presented a significant challenge, but technicians embarked on the delicate process of attempting data recovery from its memory card, hoping to retrieve Sienna's final photographs. These images, if recoverable, held the potential to reveal her last movements, the direction she had taken, or even the immediate circumstances leading to her disappearance. The reopened case also necessitated a re-evaluation of the original 2009 search efforts. Investigators pored over old flight paths, ground team reports, and search grid maps, a stark question echoing through their minds. How could this crucial area have been missed? This review prompted the involvement of experts in various fields. Dr. Anya Bose, a geochemist specializing in arid land environments, was brought in to analyze the specific geological and atmospheric conditions of the limestone karst pocket. Her expertise would be vital in understanding the interplay between the desert's dynamics and the preservation of evidence. Concurrently, SES pilot Callum Reed, who had flown during the initial searches, was consulted. His first-hand experience of the 2009 conditions, combined with his knowledge of aerial reconnaissance, would be instrumental in reassessing the capabilities and limitations of the original search parameters, setting the stage for a critical scientific breakthrough. The re-examination of Sienna McGrath's case hinged on unprecedented technological advancements unavailable in 2009. Foremost among these were sophisticated time-lapse satellite sand drift models. These highly detailed simulations, painstakingly reconstructing the Great Victoria Desert's ever-shifting topography over decades, were cross-referenced with Sienna's last texted waypoint. The revelation was stark. The area she had last indicated was, at the time of her disappearance, profoundly different than how it appeared in subsequent years, or even how it was mapped by early surveys. Shifting dunes and accumulating sand had drastically altered the surface features, effectively erasing the immediate environment Sienna had encountered. While satellite imagery clarified the visible landscape, the hidden secrets of the limestone karst pocket required a deeper scientific dive. Dr. Anya Bose, the geochemist specializing in arid land environments, focused her expertise on the unique atmospheric conditions within such subterranean systems. Her research centered on the phenomenon known as cave breath CO2 readings. In these karst environments, geological processes cause a cyclical exhalation and inhalation of carbon dioxide from subterranean chambers. This CO2, being denser than ambient air, can accumulate in depressions and unventilated pockets, creating localized atmospheric anomalies. In 2009, such an accumulation of CO2 would have created a cold spot, or an area of unusual air density, potentially rendering a hidden chamber invisible to thermal imaging, which relies on temperature differentials. Crucially, the altered air composition could also have masked human scent, effectively blinding search dogs to Sienna's presence within the concealed space. These conditions, combined with the chamber's physical concealment behind a rockfall, created a perfect storm of environmental factors that explained why early searches, despite their diligence, bypassed the chamber entirely. The area simply did not register as a viable location for human presence. The convergence of these two scientific breakthroughs was profound. The satellite models indicated where Sienna likely deviated, showing a landscape that had since been covered or altered. The CO2 readings explained why that specific hidden chamber, where her backpack was later found, remained undetected for so long. The chamber, at the time of her disappearance, was effectively cloaked by natural geological processes, a silent, invisible tomb that the desert had created and then meticulously guarded for 16 years. The precision of the new data, derived from the sand drift models and the geochemists' analysis of the cave breath CO2 phenomenon, guided search teams directly to the concealed chamber. Within this hidden pocket, nestled behind the enduring rockfall, the remains of Sienna McGrath were finally discovered, 16 years after her disappearance. The arduous journey for answers had reached its poignant conclusion. Forensic examination confirmed that Sienna had succumbed to the harsh environmental conditions of the Great Victoria Desert. Evidence suggested she likely sought shelter within the karst system after her detour, perhaps disoriented or injured, ultimately succumbing to a combination of dehydration and exposure within the treacherous terrain. There was no indication of foul play. The desert itself had been the silent, formidable adversary. For Sienna's family, the notification, though devastating, brought a long-awaited, albeit painful, form of closure. After more than a decade and a half of agonizing uncertainty, they could finally bring Sienna home. The repatriation of her remains marked the end of a protracted ordeal, allowing a grieving process that had been suspended in limbo to finally begin. The case of Sienna McGrath became a landmark in search and rescue operations for extreme environments. It underscored the critical need for integrating cutting-edge scientific methodologies into investigations, particularly in landscapes as deceptive and vast as the Great Victoria Desert. Future search protocols in similar arid regions would now incorporate advanced satellite modeling to account for shifting topographies and deploy specialized atmospheric sensors to detect phenomena like cave breath CO2 readings, which could mask hidden chambers from conventional search techniques. The contributions of Dr. Anya Bose and the re-evaluation led by individuals like SES pilot Callum Reid proved instrumental in shaping these new strategies. Sienna McGrath's adventurous spirit, though tragically cut short, left an indelible mark. Her story became a stark reminder of the immense power and unforgiving nature of the Australian wilderness, but also a testament to the relentless human quest for truth and the enduring promise of scientific ingenuity. In the end, the desert's long-held secret was finally surrendered, not through brute force, but through patient, meticulous science, bringing a measure of peace to a mystery that had haunted a family and captivated a nation for 16 long years.